You get in an NCAA tournament, Bill Guthridge can't expect Newby to explode in this game with points as Florida's bench does. All he's trying to do is steal some quality time here. You can't move.
He didn't do that. Right? Not a made basket.
Well, the inexperience of Peppers, who is a football player, not realizing he can't run in the baseline because it was not after a score.
Right back it goes to the Gators. 4 minutes to go in the half. Miller hit that shot once already, but not this time.
Peppers makes up for it with a strong rebound. Now, who's going to be the primary ball handler here? Forte?
Goes outside. Newby passes it up.
Well, they really see they're playing 4 against 5 right now because Newby doesn't want to take the shot.
Forte in front of the rim, over the top of Dupay. Billy Guthridge and Billy Donovan. 28-year difference.
This is the funny part about it, is Billy Donovan has 6 years of coaching experience in the head position. Bill Guthridge just 3, even though the big disparage in age.
Billy Donovan 6 years, and he's had the same staff together for 6 years. 2 of those years at Marshall. One of the, again, kind of hidden keys to their success. Dupay 1-1.
Where Billy was the youngest Division I coach at the time when he started up there at Marshall.
28 years old. Honor for Harvey.
Isn't it interesting also that Bill Guthridge, with a win, would have more wins than any coach in the history of basketball had in the first 3 years of coaching. He's tied right now with the great Everett Case, the Hall of Famer, who brought basketball really to that part of the United States.
Timeout on the floor with Dupay's points. 9 different Gators are on the board. Billy Donovan likes what he sees with a 9-point lead.
She's a beauty, isn't she?
Yeah, she sure is. Do you mind if I take a closer look?
Be my guest.
You got anything in a 2-door?
Can't do it in life? Do it on the web with the power of the Pentium 3 processor. And find out how to get even more from the Pentium 3 processor at Intel.com.
America still has a frontier.
San Francisco. Pretty amazing place. Especially for a MetLife financial professional.
So you recommend mutual funds?
I do. It's a great way to save.
When America moved west, MetLife invested in railroads, telephone, and electric lines. We helped connect the country. That's MetLife.
Pull a 401k up on the screen. I work with people who work in the future. If it's going to happen here first.
We are what you are.
We feel what you feel.
We see what you see. We're your fans.
We're the United Automobile Workers and General Motors, making and donating the cars and trucks our U.S. Olympic team hopefuls need for the long road ahead.
Together, we're the team behind the team.
And look who's returned inside the arena.
Jim, look at this. A New York Yankee hat on by Mateen Cleaves. I thought it had to be a Kirk Gibson. It should have been the Dodgers or Detroit. I mean, that's the greatest baseball player out of Michigan State.
And they're right behind the Carolina bench are the Spartans. Coming up, Pennzoil at the half. Greg Clark and Bobby will analyze the first half, and we'll be joined by Tom Izzo. All coming up on Pennzoil at the half.
Kind of a little ebb and flow we're seeing right here. Florida coming out, obviously, Jim, with that huge lead in the beginning. North Carolina making a nice comeback with both the zone and handling the ball better. But now we see Florida making a nice comeback.
It's 3 run right now for the Gators. Good blocked out by Lang. Capel misses the short one. Haywood's in position, though, for the putback.
I'm telling you, Haywood is showing great patience on the inside. He's keeping the ball above his head, not pushing at all, taking up a lot of space, and they stay in the zone as North Carolina. Miller can get a shot against this zone.
Weeks. And Haywood had it. Forte clears it.
Makes a smart move. You notice how quickly Cota got back in. I don't think in playing time more than 30, 40 seconds went off.
Again, he has 2 fouls. Trying to get through the half without another one.
That's a push
on Weeks. A look at the CBS Sportsline stat of the game for the first half, and again, it's bench points. They are complete stats after the game, cbs.sportsline.com.
They are unbelievable in regard to what they're doing off the bench. 20-0. Remember the Duke game? It was the same situation. And that bench wore Duke down to the point where they just couldn't even get shots off in the second half of the three-point line.
10 players as you look at the Gator bench, averaging at least 13 minutes a game. One more for Cota. In the tournament, Billy, North Carolina's bench has come up with a total of 35 points, while Florida has averaged 35 a game from its bench.
Well, they've got to be, what, at about 155 points in this tournament off the bench in 4.5 games.
Cota hits 2, bringing it back to 5.
But when you look up at the score, this game is starting to turn a little bit more in North Carolina's favor as far as tempo.
Harvey.
Some touch.
Miller comes out with it. For the 2. Muscles his way for the basket.
Well, the officials never would call a held ball there.
So
Miller stayed with it.
He had a little cut lip. Cota's something else with the dribble. Look at that.
Left hand, right hand, kept his head up and his eyes alert. Terrific dribbling.
2 minutes to go in the half.
Weeks wants that ball.
Dupay loves that shot.
Well, what you have right now, and there's Harvey, the incredible rebounder that he is. You have Florida surrounding this zone with 4 excellent perimeter shooters. And watch this right here. You think it's a held ball. Miller just, and it should have been probably a held ball there, but Miller stays with it. It's a little baby hook.
Whistle on Capel, his second. That'll send Harvey to the line. And it'll be for Harvey a 1-and-1. Freshman and really the high school player of the year last year.
Well, he was the SEC newcomer of the year, and he's been solid in this tournament. But he was way off on that shot.
Capel, open space.
Nelson coming from behind did a good job. This is huge right here.
Oh, it would have been a 3 for Forte, and Haywood battles. Yeah, that shot had it dropped from the outside would have brought it down to 2.
Right, that was a huge shot. Not only that, Jim, Forte needs to get untracked from the outside. So far, he hasn't been able to hit anything out there, and they really need to get him untracked before the half.
He's 0 for 5, the freshman from the field.
He had 28 against Tulsa, 10 for 17 from the floor, but was just 1 of 7 from 3.
Haywood will shoot 1 more. Mother loves that out of Greensboro, North Carolina. Every game like this he plays erases some of the sting of the performance last year to Weber State, where he nearly matched his 0-0 uniform number with a total of 1 point, no rebounds in the shocking loss to Weber State.
There's that point zone getting out there, but Florida can really surround it with some good shooters.
Tipped up Miller, no. Lang chases it, saves it to Cota.
How about that dribbling?
Right between 2 Gators. To Capel, slashing in, and it drops.
Goes over Dupay on the shot, and then Cota gets hit in the head again, and he is down. Little elbow, inadvertent elbow flying right there. Now that's what is really necessary when you play against Florida. You have got to attack that press when it's available. This is the second time Cota's been hit in the head. Looks like Forte bounces him up. There you see Capel doing a fine job. He gets fouled on the play, no call.
His own teammate came down
Forte
and inadvertently slapped him.
Yep.
You know, Billy, this was an 18-3 beginning for the Gators, and since that time, 31-17.
Well, what has happened for the first time, Jim, and we've had Florida every game, they have really gotten out of sync with their substitution pattern, and they're going up against this zone trying to surround it with great shooters, and it hasn't paid off for them. So when they get down to the other end, they're really not big enough to defend North Carolina's team. North Carolina goes man-to-man now.
Will they go 2 for 1 here?
I think they should have. Here's Lang. He can't handle Miller. These two guys are really good friends, Lang and Miller. Played with each other in a lot of basketball. Is that going to be a hold by Haywood? Cheap foul. But he puts a man on the line who's not a good free throw shooter.
We've already seen that. Harvey was long and left on his last attempt.
I'm surprised that Billy Donovan, for this last defensive set, doesn't put in some rebounders like Wright and Haslam. He's got a small team on the floor.
So, 2 shots for Harvey. Much better this time. Young man from Shellman, Georgia, grew up playing on a lone court at Fred James Park. In the southern part of the state, some have argued perhaps the best high school player ever out of the state of Georgia. They've got other kids that could maybe claim the best ever in their state on that Gator team. Bonner, maybe the best ever out of New Hampshire. Miller, maybe the best ever out of South Dakota. And here's Bonner. Kids from small towns who've lived out the big dream of playing on this floor, this stage. 33 seconds to go in the half.
Coda's back in the game. They'd like to get the ball in his hands so Forte can get a shot off.
They can take the last shot here.
Florida playing the zone their own. If you're Forte, you want to get open on a wing here and look for that three-point shot. They're going to hold it down to about 6. Coda will drive and then kick out.
Inside, goes to the wing. 6 seconds. Coda in control.
Here he goes on a drive.
Behind the back. What a move. And the Coda floater does not drop. Bonner with the rebound. The half ends with a Gator 3-point lead.
Bill Guthridge, very upset on the side, said there was an elbow thrown. Remember, Bill Guthridge was a head coach here once before when Dean Smith got thrown out by Kansas. So he knows what it feels like to sit there.
That was for about 30 seconds.
Well, he was a head coach.
Coach Smith in that game here in 91 hit for a couple of technicals, 1 for victory.
Here's Miller with that ability to go inside and his size.
And Lang fights for it. Coda comes out with the quick hands.
Oh, how about that play?
Lang.
Great look. He's got eyes behind his head because who knew Lang was coming? Lang grimacing right here. I wonder if he hurt his shins going down the court.
Haslam charge.
Big
and
call.
Haywood was hit in the head.
Big call there because that could have been a 3rd for Haywood. Well, he is grimacing now. Here is Coach. How does he know Lang is coming? He was looking straight ahead to his right. He had to hear him. And here is Haywood again, holding his ground. He's been doing a great job both offensively and defensively. He gets hit with a knee in the back of the head. And that's what caused that slight injury.
Accidental. Brent Wright. And Florida, the pressure that seemed to really wreak havoc early.
See what Coda did there? He went backwards to take the defensive pressure off. There's a foul on Hamilton.
Billy, looking at the halftime numbers, anything else stand out?
Well, obviously the bench point's a big thing. Field goal shooting percentage, again, I credit North Carolina for the way that point zone covers the three-point shot. Rebounds about even, and Haywood off to having a good day. There's the same out-of-bounds play they ran in the first half, but Haywood couldn't control the ball.
That last foul was Hamilton's 2nd. To Miller in the corner, too strong on a 3. Coda everywhere.
And Coda thinks he may have some numbers here.
Lost control of it. Lang battling.
You know, the referees twice today have not called a held ball on that situation.
Dupay takes middle.
And there's the ball reversed.
Right.
And Wright had to think about it before taking it. He had the wide open shot.
A player lacking confidence with his stroke. But he nailed that three-pointer. He was 6 for 27 in the tournament before that one.
Nice patience by Forte, who has yet to have a field goal. You never would have believed North Carolina could be in a game with their leading scorer without field goal.
Haywood doing some hard work on the inside.
It's Miller on Forte. We would think that North Carolina would try to set some screens to get him going. There's a one by Lang. Forte not ready to deliver the shot.
Doubled up.
Good step through.
Capel will drive and lays it in.
Great job by Forte, coached by the legendary Morgan Wooten, really showing some patience there.
Miller spins, no travel.
He loves that reverse dribble, but Capel did a great job. Look at this behind-the-back pass.
Forte stripped by Dupay. Let's go to Armin Katayan.
Thanks, Jim. And talking to Coach Guthridge, he pointed to the turning point in that first half of the timeout he took with his team down 15-3, and he said gave him some kind of talking to, telling him to do what they hadn't done, what he had asked him to do before the game, which was to get the ball inside to Haywood. I asked him about Forte and just 2 points. He said, I'm not too concerned about that. It's going to come. What he is concerned about, as you talked about, Billy, is the fatigue factor with Cota. Back to you.
Forte, yes. There it goes, Billy.
And why he is such a great scorer is he's got the medium-range jumper, the long jumper, and he can take it to the hoop.
Hamilton with a quick three, in and out, and that was Forte's first field goal. Carolina has matched the Gators at 40.
And here's what North Carolina is doing so well. They are tempoing the game. They're not allowing Florida to get running up and down the court. This is an incredible move by them, considering how they started the game, Jim, where they were completely out of sync.
Forte, 2 straight. Carolina leads for the first time since 3-2.
Lang is really hurting. He's asking to come out of the game.
Hamilton answers at the other end.
And Pepper's going to have to commit to Lang. Lang is really hurting.
Game tied at 42.
Young man has been saddled with injury and illness for a year now, and he needs out of this game right now.
Freshman defending senior. Cota with some depth ball handling on display here. Lang, I heard a slap.
Yes, you can hear it from here.
Forte again, three-pointer this time.
Is he patient or not? Didn't have a field goal in the first half and just taking it nice and easy.
Harvey, 2-point shot, bounces out, and Hamilton.
Harvey on the glass, keeping it alive.
Oh, Harvey had a couple of chances close range.
He sure did, Jim.
Forte with 7 points in the last minute.
And Lang's just going to have to stay out there. There's a foul on Harvey. He can't get to Haywood in time. Haywood's got about 3-4 inches on him.
Tar Heels have come back from 15 down to lead by
3. Are you a hardcore driver? Do you want a well-built car that delivers solid driving excitement? This is the Pontiac Grand Am, the only car built with solid form design. It's hard to the core. Are you a hardcore driver? Grand Am by Pontiac.
Former occupation, sumo wrestler. What's so funny? You're just a little guy. What happened? It tastes too good. I didn't know it wasn't regular cola. I don't need to see that. This is good.
Try Pepsi One. A breakthrough sweetener makes it taste more like a regular.
Have you ever thought about being a jockey? You're a funny lady.
Too good to be 1 calorie, but it is.
And for Best Science Report, Neil Gallagher and his team for 24 hours in the life of a trout. And finally, this year's winner, Robin Van Ness and the Merrill Lynch team for their report, Investment Strategies for Today's Biotechnology Market.
ML.com, the smartest place to invest online.
Faster, more reliable, higher quality, more profitable. Nortel Networks is building the new high-performance internet, and it can be whatever you want it to be. So tell us, what do you want the internet to be?
Come together right now over me.
He shoots.
I'm a delicious piece of man meat. You're just going to have to learn to deal with it.
He misses.
Just because you whiff, don't take it out on me.
The King of Queens after the Final Four, CBS tonight.
And there is the king of Queens himself, Kevin James. Former college football player and a big golfer who's going to be spectating next week at Augusta. Billy Donovan, what's he trying to do here, Billy?
Well, Jim, you saw he stayed out most of this time out and talked to the officials, or at least tried to get their attention, while Pelfrey in the huddle tried to get the attention of the team. What's happening right now for Billy? And he has got to count on, as he has all game, for this bench to come in and give the lift. Now, he has one starter in the game right now. The rest are bench players.
The only starter is Dupay. Carolina ball, 3-point lead. Forte on fire. Again, a three-pointer.
Wow, Dupay didn't even get a hand in Forte's face.
North Carolina with its largest lead.
And here's what I've wondered, Jim. Will the bench ever lose some confidence when all of a sudden the pressure's on them to really produce? I would really guard Nelson heavy now because he's the one guy that has produced.
Dupay, wild shot. Harvey's going to be called for the foul. Three freshmen on the floor for Florida right now.
That was, who is that foul on?
It's going to be on Harvey, isn't it?
I thought so. He went over the back of... Yep, it is going to be Harvey going over the back of Cota. How about Cota, after having been hit in the head twice in this game, goes in there and battles with Harvey?
Harvey has 4 fouls.
He's going to stay in the game. That's one thing that Donovan does have in his favor. He can afford some guys to be in foul trouble because he's got replacements. And what I think Billy Donovan is doing right now is saying, I'm going to play this game tight, and I'm going to count on, as I did in the Duke game, for North Carolina to wear out with their short bench.
Peppers going up, had the ball taken away. Forte, presence of mind to go back out to Cota. 15 on the shot clock.
Notice he caught that and looked to make sure that he had the passing lane, Jim, because that'd be a dangerous pass, throwing it towards the other team's basket. Over the top, here's an opportunity to foul Harvey out.
1 on the shot clock, not in time.
Haywood should have put that shot up, Jim, because he had Harvey on him with 4 fouls. Harvey is a very aggressive player, and Haywood had to know the shot clock was winding down.
Harvey to the bench with the 4. Haslam back in.
Now, Bill Guthridge over there, Jim, is going to have to consider some timeouts for rest for his team. He doesn't have the bench to go to. He's using the zone. He'd like to get on the foul line more.
On the baseline, Bonner will take the shot.
Nice passing.
Seconds to spare. Cota finds the trailer. First, it's a charge call. Number 3 on Cota.
Ed Cota knew that Haywood was coming, but he didn't deliver the ball until he went up in the air. The worst thing you can do coming down on the semi-break is to commit yourself in the air because there's nothing you can do. Good job by Florida.
That was Haslam who drew it. Cota stays on the floor with 3. Lang, bad ankle and all, is back. He's hobbling back into the lineup.
Now there's going to be a real gut check for the University of North Carolina now, because Billy Donovan knows he's got the pressure team, and he keeps that pressure on using that bench.
Bounce pass, well done to Haslam. The assist, Nelson.
Pick and roll against relatively no defense by North Carolina.
Forte pinned in the corner. Peppers wants help, finds Forte cutting, middle. Move up. And Cota comes right back out with it. Can you tell who a senior leader on the floor might be?
Good idea, because he wants to control tempo in this game, Jim. He could have put up a shot inside.
Peppers fade away and spins out.
Nice.
Bang, right back with the hook.
And that is his shot. Great turnaround half hook. I think the most dangerous player right now for North Carolina is Nelson.
Comes off the screen, drives in outside. Will this be Coda's fourth?
As I said, Nelson is the most dangerous player. I almost think against this lineup, Jim. Yeah, it is Coda's four.
What a moment this
is to go boxing one on Nelson. He has so much confidence, and he has had throughout the course of this tournament.
Coda's saying, hey, me? That's called on. That was mine?
Yeah.
He knows how precarious this situation is now.
Bill Guthridge just got to get Coda out of the ball game.
He's still on the floor with 4.
He's got to come in with Newby now. Can't take the chance.
Parker from the corner. And still no one ready to check in for Carolina.
With the lead, I think he should steal some minutes with Coda on the bench, not only because of foul trouble, but to get him rested down the stretch drive and just hope that he can save some minutes here.
Forte has it stripped away. 13 minutes to go, and the Tar Heel floor general stays on the floor with 4 fouls.
And there's that solid screen for Nelson. As I said, Jim, he's the most dangerous man on the floor right now.
Well, Coda's defenseless with the 4.
I really think that Coda should be on the bench now.
Florida was down 6, then reduced to 2. Mike Miller will be checking in. The next whistle.
Good job by Parker on Forte.
8 on the shot clock, so Forte takes it.
That was a tired shot, wasn't it?
Indeed, Nelson surveys. Coda has to let him go right by Nelson. And the lay-in ties the game. Haslam.
Nelson is amazing.
Timeout, Carolina. Coda had to wave Nelson right by him.
Absolutely. See, so you can steal minutes now. At least Newby can pick up fouls.
When you wake up, you will believe the following. I like football. I like watching football on television. I can't get enough football.
The comfortable Accord sedan from Honda. It's one powerful car.
Tuesday on CBS, when Mac's integrity is questioned, Harm will go to extremes to fight for her honor. Don't miss an all-new Jag, America's #1 action drama, Tuesday on CBS. All right, out of the timeout. Will Coda rest, or will he stay on the floor? He's going to stay on the floor.
Big gamble by North Carolina, Jim. I think when you have the lead in this, or in case they're tied right now, you try to steal some minutes with Newby. Because Coda is matched up. There's his mom. But Coda is matched up with Nelson, who is really the guy taking over this game right now. So he's going to be challenged on the defensive end as well as his responsibility in the offensive end.
Whether Cecilia looked pretty nervous about those 4 fouls and the whole situation, too.
Oh, they're called what?
Gator ball.
One looked like it was going to be a foul. One official called it a walk. All of a sudden, because of Billy Donovan's confidence in this bench, he's gotten back to Billy ball.
Spin move, Haslam. Could have given the lead back.
This Florida is so much pressure. They're getting every loose
push underneath and a technical. Forte and Parker.
I think it's going to be a double. I think it's going to be a double. So, Forte and Parker. And this might help North Carolina a little bit. Stops the action, lets them get a breather.
It's like an extra timeout.
Yep.
John Cowell made the call.
But again, Florida can almost not get in foul trouble. They've got such depth. We'll see it right here. Ooh, that was Forte. Now, there must have been some words spoken, but Forte delivered the first blow there.
Parker says, what, me
Yeah,
too?
how about it? That had had to be. I'll tell you, that had to be verbal coming, then the retaliation, which never should take place. Forte should be cooler than that. And then you see Wright getting in a few words. And the freshman just turns and walks away, which was the smart thing to do.
See Jody Sylvester walking away there. The one official, this will be the final game he officiates. One of the best ever. Jody Sylvester talking to Billy Donovan, and you go way back with Jody. We're from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
We're from the same hometown, and guys like Hal Grossman and Stevie Hanzo and Jimmy Hernjack from up in the Lehigh Valley, who were great officials prior to Jody's time. His father was my junior high school coach, Danny Sylvester, one of the great guys ever in my life.
While they sort it out, we'll take a break.
Hi.
Oh, yeah, hi.
You seem a little slow there.
Well, I was stunned by your beauty. Buy you a Miller Lite, it tastes great.
Sure, but I like it because it's less filling.
Huh? Well, opposites attract. That's a good one. You want to go someplace in town?
Yeah.
Grab a Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
Rookie.
Suddenly, it seems everyone's offering you e-business solutions. But ask them a simple question, like, have they scaled their own infrastructure to handle $40 million a day in e-commerce alone? And see how they react. Dell knows how he works. Visit Dell.com.
Dell business servers use Intel Pentium 3 Xeon processors.
I'm out so they could get in better shooting range. There's the pass to Lakener.
I love this part.
Puts it up.
I hate this movie.
Let's get out of here.
Good evening, Batman.
Alfred.
I've stepped up safety in the Batmobile, sir.
Really?
Should a villain steal it, someone will track it. If your airbag goes off, an advisor will assist you. If you're stranded, satellites will help locate you.
And where have you put all these things?
Just press the OnStar button, sir.
Well done, Alfred.
My pleasure, sir.
OnStar, how can I help you, Batman?
Mac is falsely accused of misconduct.
I did nothing improper.
Now Harm will fight for her at any cost.
I will personally destroy the individual's career.
All new Jag, CBS Tuesday.
Jim Nance, Billy Packer, a moment ago, an exchange here, unsportsmanlike technical, a forearm shove from Forte, and watch the right side of your screen. Forte and Parker each hit with the unsportsmanlike technical, so no free throws. It goes to the arrow, which means Carolina has it.
Now here's what is so tough for Cota. When you're on the offensive end, he's got to be careful not to dribble into the lane now, which is his most serious weapon because of drawing the charge. On defense, he's up against Nelson, who's a great penetrator, so takes away a lot of Cota's game. Forget about fatigue now. He's got strategy he has to worry about.
Capel, three-pointer.
He likes that shot. Got a good follow-through. And they have switched.
Yep, they've got Forte on Nelson.
Right, which means Parker over there on Cota. Now Parker is strong enough to take Cota down inside, but does Florida have that in their arsenal as far as part of the half-court set?
There he is, Parker.
I'm sure Florida knows exactly the position Cota's in, and there it is.
Parker there in a screen, which Cota could not really get too aggressive trying to fight off the screen.
And Jim, that's why I'm saying that it'd be in Carolina's best interest now to put Cota down for a while, because Florida's going to take advantage of it.
That three gives him the lead. And a reach in on right. No, 10-second count. 10-second backcourt violation.
Great job by Florida and that bench and their coach for having the confidence to let the game play out and still stay with his substitution pattern.
It's an 11-2 stretch right now for Billy Donovan's Gators. We're down 48-42.
North Carolina goes to the zone, back to the point zone again. High screens against Cota, who can't fight over the
again, and Nelson takes advantage.
And he is a real detriment to them on defense.
Cota has to be careful here, so he pulls back.
Do it on the double.
Cota whips it back over. Lang couldn't handle it.
Down to 15 seconds.
There's the shot they want, and Forte has it from 3.
Boy, he really has a smooth release. Always squared up to the basket. Remember Dick Bennett telling us yesterday, you've got to plant your feet first. Forte's feet are planted before he catches the ball. That's why he's always squared up. As is
another one. This is just target practice for Nelson.
Ed Cota looks up at the sky saying, I'm kind of helpless. I can't get out and really play him defensively. Another 10-second call could happen here.
Cota got across with about a second to spare.
Phil Ford off his feet over there on the North Carolina bench. Despite his hip, I think he wants to come into the game, Jim. Pretty fair point guard.
4th foul on Haslam. Carolina, when it's out of the hands of Cota, has been careless.
Well, not only careless, Florida is just such a great team with those double teams. You've got to be an extraordinary ball handler to get away from him, and Cota has been able to do it, but he is really hampered now with the 4 fouls.
Haywood will shoot 2. He is the player who really set the NCAA tournament pace for the Tar Heels with his 28 points, 15 rebounds, round 1 against Missouri. This is a team, when it left for the NCAAs, they were told by fans and media to pack light, but they have now repacked twice, and they're trying to extend their stay in Indianapolis until Monday night.
Just think of this young man. In 6 previous NCAA games, he had 7 points prior to this year. So you can see how he has not let that bother him.
Nelson, nice shot. Underneath, it's Capel.
Capel has to be careful. Nelson's coming.
Forte drives. Haywood battles. Out it goes to Nelson. Cota's back trying to defend. Dupay. And Miller. Block called on Capel. Sunday, 60 Minutes. Meet the young beauty who grew up to become Queen Rania of Jordan, and the troubled teenager who grew up to become Eric Clapton. That's Sunday on 60 Minutes. Jason Capel with his 3rd.
Jim, I see some of the same looks on the North Carolina faces right now that we have seen on teams previous to play against Florida, with the exception of Butler, the team right here from town, that they're just exhausted and wondering, when are these new waves going to get out of the ballgame? Everybody seems to be coming in fresh.
Same kind of look you saw on Duke.
Absolutely.
Sweet 16. Miller, and he has not had a good shooting day. 2 for 10, 2 for 11 make that.
He's had kind of a feast and famine tournament.
Pushed on Capel, lost control of it. Miller retrieved and was bumped, and that's 4 now on Capel. 4 Capel, 4 Cota.
Max Owen's going to probably come in a ball game now for and probably for Capel, and they're going to leave Cota out on the floor.
Capel, well, his brother Jeff Capel. The only other time Florida was in the Final Four, they had to go against a Capel, Jeff, and now they go against his younger brother Jason. And we were talking about how unusual it is to have a pair of brothers. There's Jeff, former Duke star, play in the Final Four for different schools, and you pulled one out.
Yeah, that was Al McGuire and his brother Dick. Dick was in the Navy program and went up to Dartmouth and played actually against his alma mater for Dartmouth.
Miller, 3-point shot again. Really struggling here. As we approach 8 minutes, 4-point game for the Gators.
Miller was 2 for 9 against Duke. So he has had some really good games shooting and some not so good. Owens has been a pretty good player in NCAA tournament play, but isn't coming in this game with a lot of confidence. It's a good move by North Carolina to start using some clock here. Try to rest up a bit.
Capel over Bonner. Tough shot. And Harvey's back in with 4 fouls of his own.
You know, I thought Capel would be coming. I mean, Max Owens would be coming in for Capel, but it turned out he came in for Forte.
Haywood says, get that out of here. Bonner from behind knocks it loose, and Hamilton and the Gators have a 3-on-1. Harvey spins out. Miller on the tip. Back out to Bonner.
You see, Capel couldn't even get down court.
And now Miller converts.
Capel totally exhausted.
Oh, but touched the line. Florida ball.
Capel can't even bend over. He is exhausted.
The fatigue factor is kicking in, and the Gators are up by 6.
When Paul Daigle was shopping mid-size cars, he started with the usual suspects, Camry, Accord. Then he heard about our larger Saturn, the L Series, and got in touch with me to see how it stacked up. I was happy to pass along more details. Only trouble is you can't drive them, and a big part of appreciating this car is just driving it. Of course, I suspected Paul would assume I was biased. That's why I brought an Accord and Camry along, just in case he had any doubts.
You shouldn't have to worry about your website. Microsoft Windows 2000 was built for total reliability. The business internet starts with Microsoft.
Here comes that heartburn again. It happens time after time. You've changed your diet. You've tried to treat it, but the pain keeps coming back 2 or more days a week. That frequent, persistent heartburn may be due to acid reflux disease, potentially serious. It's Prilosec time. Time to see your doctor about America's most prescribed acid control medicine. Your results may vary, but for many people, 1 daily dose of Prilosec provides 24 hours of complete heartburn relief. Ask your doctor for more information about Prilosec and if it's right for you. The most common side effects are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. 24 hours of complete heartburn relief is possible with the purple pill they call Prilosec.
This weekend, Enterprise Rent-A-Car announces special low rates from just $9.99 a day. Friday till Monday from just $9.99 a day. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
1-800-RENT-A-CAR.
10 players have scored for the Gators. Again, the sub-stars, 34-0. And Billy, another nugget here. Turnovers in the second half. Florida turned it over on the first trip of the half. Not again. Meanwhile, North Carolina, 10 turnovers in the second half alone.
Well, a couple of those things I would have to say do